What is up, guys? So the Legends have been losing a lot of members, like left and right, losing Rip Hunter at the end of Season 2, losing Stein when he was shot and killed by a Nazi in the crossover, which resulted in Jax leaving the show for good, and also when Wentworth Miller said like a week ago that he's currently filming his final episodes on The Flash and Legends of Tomorrow, meaning that Citizen Cold will be leaving the Legends as well. So with so many characters leaving or dying, the Legends is getting quite small for a superhero team with just 6 members left after Cold leaves. To top that all off, it's been confirmed that somebody who has already appeared in the Arrowverse will be replacing Firestorm. As to who that is, it hasn't been confirmed, but that's what this video is for. So here are my top 5 Arrowverse characters who should replace Firestorm, Rip Hunter, and Citizen Cold on the Legends. By the way, I think you'll find that most of the characters on this list are some of the most criminally underutilized characters in the Arrowverse, which, thinking about it, can be a list all on its own, but for now, here we go with number 5.
Girl, you have been judged and found wanting.
Number 5 is Rory Regan, aka Ragman. Like I said, this list is full of characters who are criminally underused, and Ragman is one of the prime examples of a character that's criminally underutilized. I wouldn't say Ragman was the best new recruit in Season 5, but he definitely probably had the most interesting powers/abilities with his rags. Speaking of his rags, you might be thinking that he can't join the Legends because his rags were destroyed by that nuke. To that I say that, first of all, the Legends have a time ship, so they can just travel back in time before he lost his rags, or maybe even before he joined Team Arrow, as he probably had a slightly different personality before he joined Team Arrow, as he was bent on revenge. So it would be cool to see a new version of Ragman in that way. And then second of all, his rags were magical, so there is no way they were destroyed forever. I'm not saying that I know for a fact, but come on, they're not destroyed forever. And it's only a matter of time before his rags start working again, and once they do, he can just jump straight onto the Wave Rider and it'll be awesome. Fun fact, Ragman is actually the only character on this list that has never appeared on Legends of Tomorrow.
We're on our way!
Number 4 is Killer Frost, aka Caitlin Snow. Team Flash is getting a little bit too big right now with a total of 4 different superheroes with superpowers, being the Flash, Vibe, Elongated Man, and Killer Frost. And that costs a lot of money, which retracts from the Flash, who is the main character of the show. Obviously, it retracts from him using his powers as often, and I didn't notice it that much, but my friend pointed it out to me, and now I definitely notice it. He doesn't use his powers as much, mainly because the budget cannot support so many superheroes at the same time, or at least superheroes with superpowers. So I definitely think Team Flash should cut down a little bit to just 3 field members, and Killer Frost should move to Legends of Tomorrow. The reason I think Killer Frost should, and not the Elongated Man or Vibe, is because Snart's return made me realize that the Legends were missing someone with ice powers on the show, or at least a nice gun or something, just somebody who can shoot ice. And since Citizen Cold is leaving soon, who better than Killer Frost to take his place? Also, just her being on the Wave Rider, her scenes with Heatwave in the crossover were priceless, so we would get more of that, her being on the Wave Rider, and that is awesome.
Don't you remember that Rip Hunter recruited us to become Legends?
I've never heard of any Legends.
Number 3 is Connor Hawke, aka John Diggle Jr., aka the Green Arrow of 2046, aka the Green Arrow. Connor Hawke was in one single episode in the entire Arrowverse, and that's Season 1, Episode 6 of Legends of Tomorrow, which is titled Star City 2046, appropriately titled, I think. Notice how I said Connor Hawke and not John Diggle Jr., and that's because I know that John Diggle Jr. has appeared on Arrow multiple times as a baby, as a toddler, but Connor Hawke has been on screen just once, and that's Episode 6 of Season 1. And despite the fact that he was in just one episode, he was actually a pretty memorable character. His story was interesting. The fact that he changed his name to Connor Hawke because he couldn't save his father, I think that's a really interesting story. His costume was awesome. I feel like they made that costume to appear more. I don't know why they made that awesome costume for just one episode. It really baffles me. And then being a Batman Beyond type character is interesting in of itself. So it doesn't make any sense, or at least I think that he hasn't appeared enough. He should appear more often. I feel like his personality would work on the team really, really well, seeing as with Rip Hunter gone and Stein also gone, all the guys on the team right now are either idiots or are really rarely ever serious and just goofballs. So I think the team needs that type of serious personality on the male side. The female side, basically all of them are serious all the time, and the male side is goofy all the time, so I think that just needs a little balance. Also, it would be really cool to have an archer on the team because, like I've said multiple times on like a couple of my Arrow reviews, using a bow and arrow in a fight scene makes that fight scene so much more interesting. Not only using the bow and arrow to shoot the arrows, also using the arrow, like the bow, putting it into your fight style like Green Arrow does. And that just makes the fight scenes so much more interesting. I think John Diggle Jr., aka Connor Hawke, aka Green Arrow, would be a great addition to the team for all those reasons. These next two characters are by far the characters that are thought to join the Legends the most, and are probably the requested to join the Legends the most. It just makes sense. These two characters make the most sense for them to join the Legends, starting with number 2, which is...
Damn it, Wally. What'd I say? I was supposed to save some of the bad guys for you. Just a few.
Number 2 is Wally West, aka Kid Flash. Wally West has not been treated well on The Flash this season, being immediately kicked off the show at episode 3 after literally nobody noticing that he was gone, going from a series regular to a recurring character. So yeah, Kid Flash has not been treated well. So considering he's barely on The Flash anymore, and also he was in the Supergirl episode of Crossover, Just the Wedding, and then Barry was like, hey you're not in the crossover, so leave. That's basically what Barry did, so Wally wasn't in the crossover, or barely was. So yeah, he's not been treated well, and so considering he's barely on The Flash anymore, and he can't go to Titans since that show is supposedly not in the Arrowverse multiverse for now, there is really no other place for him to go other than the Legends. But having no other place to go is not the only reason I think he should join the Legends. Wally has been seen on Legends before where he and Citizen Steel shared a scene where they took out some bad guys, and it was a really, really great scene. So we already know that Wally and Nate would definitely get along on the show, which means that Wally and Ray would probably get along on the show, and he would probably just get along with everybody, and he would have chemistry. I think he would have a lot more chemistry with the Legends than he did with Team Flash. Like, I'm really, really sure about that. Also, considering that Mullis might actually be Savitar, click in the top right corner of the video for that theory. They might need a speedster to take him down.
This won't take long, you see. There's a demon out there. He's possessing a little girl. That demon, he knows your name.
Number 1 is John Constantine. Constantine is probably, and when I say probably, I mean definitely, the most requested Arrowverse character to join the Legends because, first of all, he's a great character. He's funny, he's charismatic. He even had his own show, and he's getting his own CW Seed show, and he just doesn't get enough screen time. After a failed TV show, Constantine appeared on Arrow once, and he's getting his own CW Seed show, just like I just mentioned, but that's just going to be half an hour of footage of content, so that's really nothing. And with him being on the Legends of Tomorrow for a couple episodes in Season 3, Season 3 is the perfect time for him to join the team, especially since it turns out that Mullis is apparently a demon. I'm not 100% sure about that, but Constantine did say he met a demon that knows Sarah's name, which, I don't know, that might be Mullis, but if it is, demons are his specialty, and Damien Dark is magical, and magic is his second specialty after dealing with demons. And also, just like Connor Hawke, although to a much lesser extent, Constantine would bring us a level of seriousness to the team that is lacking from the male side of the team. With Rip Hunter being gone, Constantine would be the new obligatory trench coat wearing Englishman on the Legends. So those are the top 5 Arrowverse characters that should replace Firestorm, Citizen Cold, and Constantine on Legends of Tomorrow, joining the Legends. So who do you think should join the Legends? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.